Okay, as I said, if you think you got the hang of it and you remember how to do it, just go ahead and work on your own. Please use a straight edge or just fold the paper to make a straight line. Otherwise, just look up here and we'll just do a little review. So it says find the slope, y-intercept, and then graph. So remember, for slope we use m, y-intercept we use b. Okay. So for each of these, you want to write m equals and b equals. So here we're going to write m, and the slope is always attached to the variable x, and b is the number by itself, positive 3. Notice how I put the negative on the top. That just reminds us that we're going to go down 1 because it's negative, and then right 4 because that's positive 4. Okay, so if there's a negative in the front, go ahead and put it on the top. And then you can go ahead and graph it. So the y-intercept, the beginning, the b, positive 3, start on the y-axis. And then from there, we're going to go down 1 and right 4 several times. And remember that we could have also put the negative on the bottom, and that would be going up 1 and left 4. So that works as well, up 1 and left 4. You'll see that it lines up perfectly with everything else. And then using a straight edge or folding the paper, draw a line all the way through the entire graph. Okay. So that's how we did the graphing. And there are a few more things that we had to talk about, like what happens with zero slope, undefined slope, things like that, but that was the gist of it. Okay. So I'm going to go through and do the left-hand column, those 5 on the front and back. Okay. So let me go down to number 4, staying on the left column. So here, there is no x. So when it's missing, go ahead and use 0 for your slope. And the number by itself is negative 2. Okay. And remember, slope of 0 is a horizontal line. Okay. Slope of 0 is a horizontal line. So just go to negative 2 and draw a horizontal line going through negative 2. So when it was just equals to a number, those are really fast to graph. You didn't have to count any squares up or down. Now the one that was weird was like number 7, when there was x equals. Because for there, the slope would be undefined, which meant it was a vertical line, and that there's no y-intercept. So it's a little different from everything else. When it starts with x equals, that kind of gives it away. So anytime you have x equals, these are always going to be true. So for actually 7, 8, and 9, you could write m is undefined, b is none for all 3 of them, because it's always the case. So what's different here is that you have an x-intercept instead of a y-intercept. So you actually start on the x-axis, and you go to x equals 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you draw a vertical line. So everything about x equals is different. It's a vertical line, which is different. Its slope is undefined, which is different. And there are no y-intercepts. So everything about x equals, when you see this, everything about it is different. So that's the front side. Let's flip it over to the back. On the back, let's just practice getting into the right format. So we always wanted y equals. So if we have y minus 2 equals, we could fix that by just doing the opposite and adding 2 to both sides. And by adding 2 to negative 2, you get 0. That cancels out. So you have y equals. We have to do something to both sides for it to be y equals. So then you can say slope is negative 2 over 3. And the y-intercept is positive 2 because we added it to both sides. Start at positive 2 and go down to right 3. And we can also go left 2, up 3. No, up 2, left 3. If any of those points don't line up with the rest, then something is wrong, and you need to correct it before making your line. So that's the backside, is just manipulating the equation so it's in the right format. So it's in y equals format. Okay. 9, 10, and 11, or 10, 9, 11, 12 are simple one-step, but and 13, 14, 15 are similar, but you have to move the x over. So again, for like 13, we want y equals. We have negative 2x plus y equals. So that means we need to move the 2x over on this one. So that cancels out. You get y equals. Now we like to put the x part right after the equal sign, so I'm going to put this 2x right after the equal sign and put the minus 2 on the end. So we have a slope of 2, a y-intercept of negative 2. We'll start on the y-axis of negative 2. Now, if you have a slope of 2, what's the rise and what's the run? So I go up 2, but then what do I do? Yeah, remember it's over 1. So it's up 2 over 1. You got to remember, if they don't have a number underneath, you put a 1. Otherwise, you'd have a vertical line, which only happens when you have x equals, so that can't be it. We have a y here. So yeah, we're going to have up 2 over 1. There's a little reminder about non-fraction slopes. Got to make them over 1. Lastly, 16. We have to solve for y. We have to do 2 steps. We have to move the 4x over. Right, just like we did above, we move the x over. So we got 2y is negative 4x plus 6. But then there's another step because we don't have y equals, we have 2y equals. So there's one more step, divide by 2 everywhere. So divide by 2 everywhere. So 2 divided by 2 gives us 1y. Negative 4 divided by 2, negative 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 2 steps for the last 3 problems. First, add or subtract the x part, and then divide by whatever number is in front of the y. So slope is negative 2 over 1. Right? Remember, I make it over 1. It's not a fraction. Down 2, right 1. Starting at positive 3 on the y-axis. Start at positive 3 and down 2, right 1. Okay. So that's a little refresher. Again, we'll do some today, and then tomorrow we'll do some other things to remember. We'll review. And then Wednesday we'll really start some of the new stuff. We're looking to take a test at the end of next week. So end of next week, in 2 weeks will be your last test, and then the following week is your final. Your final covers everything since August, and we'll do a good review on that as well. So a lot coming up pretty quick. So hopefully you've come back from break and you're ready to get back to work. Okay? All right. So spend the rest of the class working on this, and then come show me when you're done. I'll check it for accuracy and then mark you off if it's all good. If you have anything else missing, Khan Academy, stuff like that, use any spare time to get caught up because we're quickly running out of time.